Alright, I'd like to welcome you to Doris's Kitchen. And today we're going to make beef stew. So, first thing you need to get going is to take some stew meat and just chop it all up real small, because you want them all kind of like bite size. Okay? And what we did was we put a little bit of oil just to cover the bottom. Alright. We turn our burner on 7. This is a little bit more than the half mark. There we go. That kind of cooks up real fast. And a lot of people will turn around and cook their beef stew. They'll put butter and then fry it up. But if you talk to a lot of the hunters and everything, you're going to find out that if you cook with butter, your meat will get tough. So that was an old trick I learned from them, to turn around and cook with just a little bit of vegetable oil. There we go, look at that. You want just enough to turn around and cook it, because then when you do it in the stew, it'll be nice and soft and tender. Alright, so while that's finishing up, let's talk about some of our other ingredients. Okay, first we're going to put 2 cups of water in our slow cooker. Now I have a small one, and this small one will feed a family of 4. I'm only 2, so there's always leftover for when the boy gets home from school. Okay, the next ingredient we're going to put is our beef stew mix. You can buy this package. It doesn't matter what kind of beef stew mix you buy, because the main super ingredient that helps to make your stew taste really good is adding the onions and celery. Now when you walk into a house and you can smell the aroma of onions and celery, it just builds your appetite right up. And you go, alright, that's a good cook. Alright, let me stir this some more. Look at that, that's just about ready. There you go. Alright, I'm going to turn that off. Okay, so what I have here is 1/4 cup of celery. And 1/4 cup of onions. Onions are really good, especially to put in your stews, especially in the wintertime and everything, because if you got a little bit of a cold coming on and everything, onions are very healthy for you. Okay, then we're going to add 1/2 cup of peas. Now if you buy a can of peas, you'll know that there's 2 1/2 cups. Okay, so save the other half for, you know, because Thanksgiving's coming and you'll want to make a turkey pie. So, that would be good for that. Okay, and on my carrots, I usually buy the little baby carrots and everything. And then you can just slice them right up real tiny and everything, because you want everything in your stew to be, you know, eaten with a spoon, of course, but bite size, you know, small. And when I buy it like this, not only can you serve them as a vegetable like this with your meal, but you can use them in beef stew. If you're going to make a stew beef, a big one and everything, you can use them. I also use them with coleslaw and everything. So I got 1/2 cup of that. Okay, and then I'm going to add 2 medium-sized potatoes. Okay, so I slice them up. Then you just want to cut these into squares. They don't have to be no particular size. You'll know they're going to shrink as they cook. Don't have the sharpest knife right here. or I'm getting old, one or the other. Take your pick. Probably getting old. Alright. Now my other potato. This is really, you know, you do a lot of stew beefs and stuff like that when in the wintertime, just to warm people up when they've been outside shoveling and stuff. And you know, in the old days, because the men really worked hard in the winter and stuff, a lot of them used to add a little bit of sugar to the stew. Only because, you know, they needed more energy and everything. Made it, of course, taste better and stuff too. But mostly to give them more energy in the wood. Because they were all very hard workers. Okay, now the reason we cook it beforehand and everything, because you should, but also you don't want, you know, meat has blood to it, and you don't want all that sitting on top of your stew. Because usually when you cook a stew, you know, that's what's going to be on top, and it's just not appealing. So, we cook our meat first. Now this is really good for, you know, when you have to go to work and everything. You can put it all in the crock pot and take off to work. When you come home, you're all set. Meal will be ready. Just make sure you turn it off like 15-20 minutes before mealtime, just so, you know, everything's not hot. Okay. Just stir that all right up. Okay, now every time you make this, it comes out a little bit different, depending on, I guess maybe my potato was a little bit smaller, whatever. So I'm going to add just a little bit more. I added 2 cups, but you don't want it to go all the way to the rim, because when it cooks, it'll be too much. You know, because once it starts cooking and bubbling, you don't want it to go over when you're gone to work. So you do want to leave a little bit. There you go, about a half an inch there from the rim. Okay, and this is all you have to do. Stir it all up. Your potatoes, of course, will shrink and everything as they cook a little bit. And there you go. Put the lid on, turn it on. I cook it on low. Okay, and this is what you're going to have. A nice stew beef. Now, if you want, Jiffy has really good biscuits. All you need is a little bit of milk. You don't need a whole bunch of ingredients. Everything else is in the mix, you know, ready with the flour and everything. So, just a little bit of the Jiffy mix with some milk, and you have yourself some biscuits. So, you go right ahead, serve your stew up with some biscuits, and there you go. You have yourself a nice meal. Right now it's apple season, so you can take an apple, cut it right up, you know, into like, take the core out, then cut it into 4, add some sugar and cinnamon, bake it in the oven, and that can be dessert with a little bit of topping. Alright, hope you've enjoyed my bringing this to you. Bye-bye now.